All right, all right. Thank you for joining in here to Straight Talk. I'll get everything kicked off here in a minute. Let's get the camera on. Just getting things going tonight. Here we go. Solo, awesome. Oh, wrong camera. There we go. Hey guys, welcome in. Thanks everyone for joining the stream tonight. Huge announcement coming from President Trump. So big stream, big night. Not a lot prepared, just kind of, freeballing it here, or, freestyling it, as they say. So just going to go through some stuff here before President Trump starts his address. We'll throw to him, listen to his major announcements, and we'll talk a little bit about what we know so far about tonight's big, huge announcement from President Trump, as he would say, and learning about, I think from what I'm reading here, sorry, trying to do this all myself, just producing by myself. We don't have our amazing producer, Nick, joining us tonight. He might be watching live, but he's not helping us out. So trying to do this all by my lonesome, but we'll go through tonight kind of what we expect from this announcement. Just run through that for a few minutes here before Trump starts. And then we'll listen to what he has to say and then break it down afterwards for a few minutes. So not going to be on here too late. Just wanted to be able to see what he has to say and deliver the information to the people, we the people. So just want to welcome everyone in. I see a lot of people joining on X right now. Have over 200 people joining on X. If you're watching on X, go ahead, join on Rumble. There is a link on my bio. Would appreciate that a ton. We got 11 viewers on Rumble. So awesome. Let me know where you're joining in from in the chat, where you're watching from. Would love to hear from you. My name is Isaiah Asher, your host. This is Straight Talk channel. I host a weekly podcast on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time called Straight Talk with Isaiah Asher. I go over the weekly headlines from an America First viewpoint. So if you are an America First patriot, go ahead, throw an American flag in the chat. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Good to see you. Appreciate you joining in. Well, just want to kick things off. Welcome everyone to the stream tonight. Again, like I said earlier, tonight's huge. President Trump is addressing the nation live from the White House here momentarily. We'll be watching everything here together, reacting, breaking it down. The official word from the White House is that this is a year-end recap of his 2025 accomplishments, the administration's accomplishments, like border security, lower gas prices, the economic wins with the tariffs, things like that, and then a preview of what we are to see coming in 2026. And so Trump himself, he said, it's been a great year, as he would say, and the best is yet to come. But, from what I've seen online here, watching X, looking at all the different theories on the internet, there's lots of theories around a war announcement with Venezuela. So be sure to stick around, watch what President Trump has to say. Want to pull up some clips here in a moment, or some tweets, actually, I should say, see what people are saying. But just a quick background on tonight's announcement. Trump announced this on Truth Social yesterday, if you missed that. And then Press Secretary Leavitt, she said that it's going to be a really good speech, highlighting the historic wins of the Trump administration. No major bombshells are expected, is what they say. It's just going to be kind of, I guess we could call it a victory lap for the Trump administration. And what a timely, just happenstance that right before the Epstein files are released on Saturday, of course, we have right before the Epstein files are released, we have this big announcement. We got to do this victory lap praising the Trump administration. And oh, one second. Dropping stuff over here. But I voted for President Trump, and I'm sure many people here watching tonight also can say that they voted for President Trump. But I don't vote for new wars. Didn't vote for that, and I have a problem with this potential war with Venezuela. And even tonight, as I was looking through some of the tweets online, I saw the troops in Venezuela are marching in line, getting lots of performances from the military, from the Venezuelan military, because they expect tonight clashes between the U.S. and Venezuela. So maybe it's not a distraction from the Epstein files. Maybe it's a distraction from the war that's going to be declared later tonight after. Who knows? Maybe it is a cover up for the Epstein files. We'll see. And we'll be watching it. We also say, yeah, bring on the UFOs, right? That's another theory I hear, is that to distract from the Epstein files, that because President Trump wants to just take everyone's attention away from it, that he's just going to bring on something so crazy like the Epstein files that he's going to talk about. And so super interesting stuff we'll see. All right here, straight talk. We never water it down. We shoot it straight. And before we dive into some of these tweets, you just want to take the opportunity, since I have so many people of you watching here. If you haven't tried 1775 coffee yet, now is your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip, because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. And a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble and wondering if it's actually worth it. The spoiler is that it is. Go to 7075coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Thanks to 7075 Coffee. Appreciate you guys. Also, just want to thank our premier sponsors, Fuegos Amigos Salsa. If you haven't yet, go ahead and just, sorry, the glare's so bad, guys, there. Go to fuegosamigos.com, grab yourself a jar. Just launched new jars. I haven't gotten a new jar yet. Need to get that from the founder, our great producer, Nick, who started that brand, a made in America brand, USA, everything's homemade, all small batch, roasted, all fresh ingredients. You're going to want to grab your own jar. Just got new labels, new ingredient list, all of that. Yes, like the stream right now. Appreciate everyone who's joining. If you haven't yet, go ahead and like the video, like the stream, share it with someone. As we say here, if this is your first time, we say share it with a left-wing lunatic, a right-wing retard. We're all about free speech here. So whether you're left-wing, right-wing, we don't discriminate. We want to bridge that gap, right? We want to make sure that we're able to have discussions, civil discussions, and not have this craziness. So I want to go ahead and share my screen, because it looks like President Trump has just gone live. Let's get this going here. Sorry, guys. It's always so fun doing this all by yourself, Okay. There we go. Yep, I do that same thing.
prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums.
Sorry, guys.
They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, trumprx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower costs. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me, because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds, as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing, while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs, and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
Well, we heard there from President Trump. Lots to cover there, lots to go through. Big announcement. Not? What big announcements did you guys hear? I didn't hear a single big announcement from him tonight. I was texting on the side here and with our producer, best producer in the game, and we're just baffled at what was this big announcement. And what I was telling him when we were chatting back and forth and taking notes and just talking about what President Trump's saying here is this seems like a lot of smoke and mirrors. Let me know what you guys think, chat. Want to hear from you. Want to get some engagement. Want to see what do you guys think about this? Was this a big announcement, or this is just smoke and mirrors trying to distract us from something? Look over here when they are doing something over here. Let me know what you think, chat. Want to hear from you. Before we do the breakdown, just want to say thanks to Rumble Premium. I mean, you've probably noticed that Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get an ad-free viewing experience across the platform. No pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content that you came for. Plus, premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium, promo code STUDIO. No ads, more freedom and content you actually care about. That's the deal. Thanks to Rumble Premium for your sponsorship. Appreciate that. Appreciate all of you watching the show. If you're just joining, smash that like button, share this stream with someone, and go ahead, throw a donation in the chat. 100% of your proceeds goes right back into making the show bigger and better. Looking to get $50 in donations tonight. If we get $50, who knows what I'll do. Before we've gotten to that, I've told some pretty funny jokes in the past. If you know, you know. If you don't, you've missed out. Be sure to join us Straight Talk Live every Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Time on Rumble. Getting back into it. The smoke and mirrors, seeing some chats here. He's in the files, trying to get all his positive stuff out before it goes down. Great point there. Great observation. Be the difference. I honestly couldn't agree more, because what we see right from the beginning here, what President Trump does is he praises himself, talks about a landslide victory, what his election was. Like we didn't already know that. And then he goes through all these lists of accomplishments that we already know, all of these accomplishments. There's nothing new here. He teased this as some big, huge announcement in how he's going to help cast the vision for 2026. And from what I can see, I heard a little bit of teasers here and there about some policy that's going to come forth next year, but I didn't see anything special. So, yeah, so he praises himself, right, for what a landslide victory I had in the election. Okay, great. Of course, Mr. President, we know you had a great landslide victory. Of course, we understand that. And then he goes into prices of food going down and how turkey's gone down. Certain things if you really break down the true economics, there's some things that have gone down, some things that have gone up. So it's debatable whether it's gone up, gone down. So I'll leave that up for you to decide yourself, look into it yourself. But from what he's saying is turkey's gone down for Thanksgiving, and then real wages have gone up between $1,000 to $3,000. But that's $1,000 to $3,000 a year, not such a big impact. I don't know about you, but $1,000 to $3,000 a year doesn't make that big of an impact to me. $1,000 to $3,000 a month would make a big impact to me, but not a year. That's $1,000. That's like, let me do, I'm not that good at math, guys. But let's $1,000 divided by 12, that's $83 a month. Okay, great. Woohoo. Thanks, Mr. President. $80 a month. Thank you for that. And then he talks about this $18 trillion in investments that we have, that he's gotten, which we appreciate that. That's great, but also nothing new. We already knew that. We've seen all the announcements as they come down the pike, right? The investment from Saudi Arabia, from Japan, the Toyota company, all these different investments that have come. We've seen it all already. We already know this has happened, right? And then he praises himself for the tariffs, how other countries have used tariffs against us for so long, and finally we flipped the script and we're starting to use the tariffs against them. And we're building in the US, and if you build in the US, then you have no tariffs. But if you build outside of the US, you're going to get tariffed heavily. And so, again, nothing new. We already know about the tariffs, Mr. President. We already know we are charging tariffs and that we're getting revenue. You already told us that everyone's getting $2,000 from the tariff revenue. This isn't new information. What else does he break down? Okay, hey, big announcement. Something new that I will say is the Warrior dividend, right? So he said almost $1.5 million being called what he labeled a warrior dividend going out to soldiers, to our troops. So really, really amazing that is happening. Super appreciative, because we need to serve our troops better. We need to give back. And if we can take a small portion of this tariff revenue and give it to our troops, they deserve it. They're extremely underpaid. I don't know if anyone here watching has, ever tried to look into joining the military. I certainly have. And the pay is not the greatest. Maybe there's a bonus here and there, but And after years of working your way up, you can. But when you start, you're serving your country, laying your life down, and you're making the same as someone who's working at McDonald's. So a lot of it's a little backwards in my opinion, but I'm happy to see this warrior dividend going out. So that is something that is new. I'll give him credit for that. Um, I don't want to just be a critic of President Trump here because I'm not typically a critic of him. It's just that over the past couple months here and this year in particular, this president is not the same as 2016 President Trump. He even talked about, it's a great segue because he talked about the big pharma and how he's fighting back against the special interest groups. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. He's not fighting back from the special interest groups. In fact, he's just taken money from special interest groups, which is what he ran against in his 2016 campaign, saying that I'm not going to take the special interest groups money. I'm not going to take the lobby money. I'm going to get the lobbying out of Washington. And in fact, here we are, 2025. He's taking money from everyone, $250 million in the hole so far from Israel. And so, that's doesn't seem like not bowing down to the special interest group or to the Israel lobby or to the Qatari lobby, right? There's so many lobbies in these countries, that the Chinese lobby, right? So many countries that are lobbying our government, and then so many industries like big pharma that are lobbying our government. He just chooses big pharma as the one that he says, oh, hey, this is the special interest group that I'm actually fighting against. So that's the only one I could put on the pedestal when he says he's driving prices of drugs down, and appreciate that. But that I feel like that helps a portion of Americans, and the goal should be to get people off these drugs. There's my wife's a doctor and she's a chiropractor, and there's a lot of backward stuff in the medical community because medical doctors just want to keep prescribing medicine, want to get you hooked on the medicine. And we expect that what they want to do is help make us better and do things naturally, hopefully, but that's not, they don't make money that way. They get paid, and a lot of these doctors work for these big corporations now. They're not working for themselves, and so they have to do what their administration of the hospital says and pushes down on them. And so that's why we get where we're at, why President Trump has to fight back against these special interest groups and push so hard to get the drug prices down. So yes, it's a victory, but it's only a victory because of the broken system, not because of anything that he's really fighting back against. That's just my personal opinion. And then he goes into the healthcare thing. This is something I've critiqued him about before. What the heck, giving money back to the people? Why not? Why are you taking it from them in the first place? We don't need to give money back. We need to stop taking it. Giving money back for healthcare, that's not going to help anyone. Just stop taking our money. Abolish the IRS. Get rid of it. Figure out other ways. You're making plenty of money from tariffs. There's other ways that we can make money. We don't need to tax the people. And we certainly don't need to just say, oh, hey, the answer is just to tax you and then give you money back for your health care. What? That's so backwards. That doesn't make any sense. That'd be like saying, let's say you can deposit money into an app, right? And then you can withdraw that money. But to withdraw the money from the app, you have to pay a 25% fee. And so you're like, okay, I'm going to deposit $5 in there before I spend this. You deposit $5 and then you withdraw it and you only have $4.75. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So what, I'm going to give my taxes up for you to give me money back? No, again, just don't take the money from us in the first place. And then he goes into gas prices going down, which they have. Got to give him credit for that. That's just, typical of a Republican president, though, because of the deregulation, drill, baby, drill, those kinds of things, and just difference in policy and opinion on how you go about energy, right? And the new electricity generation that's coming with the energy production as well. And I got to say, that's something that's hit my community pretty hard locally. Our energy prices, especially with electricity, we have a monopoly here with Ameren, and they have been overcharging people by hundreds of dollars. People's bills have doubled and sometimes even tripled what they were paying. And people just can't afford it anymore. There's tons of people in my community here complaining about it, talking about how they can't afford their electricity bill and reaching out for help with churches and organizations and things. So interesting to see. He didn't even tell us what he's going to do, just said, hey, and we're doing some cool stuff with energy. So again, not another thing that's not a big announcement, just kind of teasing something that he's going to tell us later. This isn't a big announcement. And then mortgage payments less than $3,000 than Biden. Okay, cool, but I haven't felt that. My mortgages, you know, my interest rate was ridiculous when we went and got our mortgage. Mine is triple what some of my friends who purchased a home just a couple of years before me were. And so while I'm appreciative of the things that he's doing for new mortgage people who are taking out new mortgages, right? And if you don't own a home yet, I would highly recommend that you take out a mortgage during President Trump's administration before we have no idea what comes next in case progressive liberal president comes, then it'll just go up. And so you want to take advantage. There's windows of times that you can take advantage of these things. And now is one of those windows of time to take advantage of the mortgage rates and the interest rates and continue to see them. We just saw the Fed cut the rates the day by, I think, a half a point, if I'm remembering correctly. So take advantage of that. But nothing super amazing here with the mortgage payments, in my personal opinion. Not like my mortgage company's calling me, telling me that they're going to send me money back because we're paying too much money or anything. So, and then the border crisis, as we already know, illegals drove costs up. They took the jobs from Americans. Yeah, nothing new there. But it is cool to see that the new jobs are going to Americans, right? Native Americans, not Native American Indians, but Native Americans who are born, bred in America. And it's not going to these illegal immigrants, right? Because there's a lot coming down the pike. Sorry, guys. A lot coming down the pike as far as, AI, data centers, all these different things. And there's going to be tons of jobs for electricians, construction workers, carpenters, things like that. And if we have this cheap labor in the United States, then that takes so many jobs away from our U.S. citizens. And so, we just talk about, deport these illegal immigrants. We need to get them out. Somalian, Mexican, any illegal immigrant, doesn't matter where you come from, Norwegian, Czechoslovakian, Ukrainian, Russian, Israeli, whoever you are, if you're illegal, get out of our country. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. We got enough problems of our own. You can go back to your country. Ilhan Omar, you can go back to your country, figure out how you can make Somalia better, right? Make Somalia great again, Ilhan Omar. We're here to make America great again. We're here to put America first. We want to put Americans first, not illegal immigrants first. And I do have to say that's what President Trump does do, is he's trying to put Americans first, but he's not successfully doing that in all areas. We see even with these H-1B visas and how he wants to give out more H-1B visas to Chinese students and Indian students. And you're not smart enough, American. That's what he says. You're not smart enough. You don't have the skills for the jobs needed. And completely disagree with that. And so while we do see some successes, it's a small, minute success. There's only about 400,000, I think, forced deportations, and then about 1.6 million the CBP home app or whatever, they self-deport, right? They get on their phone, they self-deport, and they go out. So most of these, the 2 million number that you see, or 2.5 million number that the White House talks about, most of those are deportations, which is great. We do want them to self-deport, still gets them out of this country. We just need more forced deportations because the rate is not fast enough of self-deportation. We have 10 million illegal immigrants in our country. We need to get them out. And so it is still a border crisis. You haven't solved it yet, Mr. President. Still a crisis. And so, but also not another big announcement, not another new announcement, nothing new here. And then he just talks about the 250th anniversary, right? About how we're going to be loyal to our citizens, when in fact, just yesterday, he talked about how loyal he is to the Israel lobby and how it's the greatest lobby. And it used to be the biggest, greatest lobby. And then we got Mark Levine saying he's Jewish. And I'm so confused at what's going on with President Trump now, because of all this special interest group and lobby influence, right? It's not just the Israel lobby, right? I'm not here to be the conspiracy theorist that everything is the Israelis or everything is Mossad, right? It's not the case. That's low IQ thinking. No, it's not just one lobby group. It's all these lobby groups. It's all these special interest groups that are influencing the president in such a negative way, and it's actually impacting Americans. That's why he's being influenced to say H-1B visas, we need them, because he's being influenced by big tech, right? And that's not what we want. We put America first here at this show. We put America first. You should put America first. All Americans need to be putting America first if you're a true patriot. Well, that is just quick breakdown of what President Trump was talking about tonight. I want to hear from you in the chat. Do we have any thoughts, any comments? Anything you want clarity on? What are you guys thinking? Do you have any hot takes? We didn't hear anything about Venezuela. For one, we didn't hear anything about Venezuela. We didn't hear anything about aliens. So super surprising stuff. Nothing big news here. But anything interesting for you guys? Nope. Okay. Hey, no big deal. I know we got most of you people watching on X. We have over 500 of you watching on X. Appreciate you joining. Give me a follow here on X if you're not already. Click the like button below. Go ahead, head on over to my profile on X, and you can also find my Rumble channel. You can see we're streaming on Rumble as well. You can find at Straight Talk Isaiah on Rumble. Give me a follow there. We're trying to get to 100 followers on Rumble as quickly as possible so you can join the creator program. Helps us out a ton. And if you can afford it, would appreciate you throwing a donation in the chat here in Rumble. Like I said, 100% of the proceeds goes right back into the show, making it bigger, better for you. Helps us get lights, cameras, microphones, set, everything like this. And big announcement, huge announcement. Actually, President Trump didn't have a big announcement, but I've got a big announcement, is that hopefully next year, right now, we're in the works of planning a May trip to Washington, D.C. to do a podcast in Washington, D.C., trying to do some live streams, IRL live streams, walking around in Washington, D.C., seeing if maybe we can get into some conversations with some legislators or some staffers or anyone, maybe just some regular American patriots there in the DC area. So me and our producer, Nick, are in the works of planning that out. So if you can afford it, go ahead and throw some donations in the chat now or any of our future episodes, and that would help support that. We'll get a little goal together. Nick, just remind me. I think you're watching. Let's get like a graphic or like maybe an overlay graphic or something together. We can get a goal of how much we need to raise for the trip to make it. And then we can hopefully get some super chats to help us hit that goal. And if you're just joining on Rumble, be sure to hit that like button, hit that repost button, comment below, comment after this video goes live, after the live stream's over. Everything that you can do to help support the stream, help support the cause. Here at Straight Talk, if this is your first time, we stand for America First, Christ is King, and we believe that freedom isn't free, that there's folks who have paid a price so you and I can have the freedom that we so, generously have been given and we do not deserve. So just scanning some tweets here to see if there's anything last minute that I want to bring up. I did want to just bring to you guys' attention that the House just passed legislation to criminalize transgender surgeries. So that is great news. So it's going to hit the Senate, it looks like. Go over to the Senate to have debate, and we'll see if that can pass that. If that passes, it'll go straight over to President Trump's desk. So you heard it here first on Straight Talk. The House has just passed criminalizing actually transgender surgeries, hormones, and treatments for any minors. Big win for America First Patriots. That is a huge, huge win. Wow. Well, the great thing to end the stream on and to find out is that transgender surgeries are going to be criminalized, Lord willing. So if you got your senator, get him on the line, call your senator, tell him you support this bill. Looks like we had a vote of 216 to 211. It's 216. We had 213 Republicans, 3 Democrats that voted yes on this bill. And we actually had 4 Republicans who voted no. So interesting. I'm going to dig in and we'll talk on Friday maybe a little bit more about who those 4 Republicans are that voted no, and dig in maybe a little bit into the bill and see what people are saying in the Senate as the bill hits their desk and changes that they're making. And I think it looks like Tim McBride, the transgender congressman from where is they from? Delaware, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Tim McBride, he is already on the steps talking about this, how this is unconstitutional. So we're definitely going to have to dive into this on Friday a little bit more. Just appreciate everyone here joining in. This is Straight Talk Live with Isaiah Asher. To go ahead and Christmas music for you as we go out. We will see you all Friday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Be sure to join in. You never want to miss an episode. Click follow, subscribe to our out. See you all on Friday, 8 p.m.